magic isn't loud. This is the thing. Magic is not loud, especially with Parsec. This is the nothingness, it's the quietness. It talks about, ooh, the stillness. Can you handle it, right? Can you handle the unknown? And this is saying that something is arriving to you in the moments of stillness. It's almost like what you need to hear will get loud when you get quiet, when you quiet the mind. I'm hearing the overly logical, rational mind. And magic is going to bloom in the spaces that you dare to leave empty right now. And there's something about not trying to fill the gaps of the distance between two events with the how and the when it's going to unfold, you know, the things that the ego likes to attach to. And there's something around, again, releasing attachment is where your power lies right now, because you're giving the universe time and space to facilitate and organize synchronistic events to unfold, right? To align things in ways that you may not be able to fully understand. And it's funny because right now we have 555 on the clock, right? 555. And right here we have 555 facing, which is literally change happens outside of your comfort zone, right? So the time for change is now. The angels are whispering for you to trust your path and learn how to walk it. Take the next step and allow change to lift you up and guide you forward. I release all that no longer serves me as I'm guided to move outside of my comfort zone and let change in. So maybe you've had your comfort zone be to like know all the small and finer details in regards to things. But with the South Node in Virgo right now, just collectively, this is about releasing the inner critic, releasing your attachment, right? Releasing the overly logical, rational part of yourself. And instead, with the North Node in Pisces, it's knowing that there is an intangible hand that's guiding your life. There is a lot of non-physical forces that are speaking to you during this time, that are working behind the veil. And it's whether you're receptive to that. So it definitely reminds you of, this is about to be your life, right? In regards to when the high priestess is given, I think I spoke about this, maybe I didn't. I think maybe I was having a conversation with myself, I don't remember. But I was like, this is kind of like a task, if you will, that's handed to an archetype like the high priestess. And the high priestess is your higher self. It's an octave within you that you can attune into in order to be able to decode and interpret your reality, right? To be able to look at things through the lens of the soul. And she's a character where it's not a figure that you bow to, right? She is the lens that you begin to see life through. And when she's handed a, let's just say, a task or like a mission that she's going on, it's going to be very different, right? When we talk about tests, I'm hearing even her test is more like an initiation, right? Like everyone has their own like I'm hearing intricacies when it comes to, you know, let's just say a challenge, right? Things that are actually going to challenge them. And it seems like you're being challenged to not just develop your intuition, but to trust it, right? To learn how to navigate this experience, you utilizing it, right? Utilizing something that is already within you deeply. And when your ego begins to quiet, this is where your soul begins to take the reins, right? This is where you attune to a version of yourself that's always been there, always innately within you. And meeting the high priestess is almost like entering a sanctuary that you didn't know existed inside of you. And it's almost like you're about to see just how powerful you are. You're about to see just how it reminds you of evidence playing out in your third dimensional reality, where it's like, wow, you are going down the rabbit hole, right? It's almost like Neo is about to see how him following the red threads of fate is something that literally leads him to certain world line collisions he wouldn't have experienced otherwise. So there's something about listening to your intuition is about to pay off in incredible ways that you don't even really understand right now. Okay, there's like an understanding that you have, but you're about to understand it. When we talk about understanding, it's like the logical mind. So it's almost like in a linear fashion, there's still more change that has to happen down the timeline for your mind to catch up with what your heart already knows to be true, right? That's like an energy that's coming through very strongly. And it's like until silence draws you there, right? With Parsec, until the nothingness really begins to encapsulate just who you are, right? Being nothing and also everything simultaneously. This is the part of you that waits behind the veil, right? Ready to be uncovered. It's where you are greeted with your own remembrance, right? And even from an external point of view and point of reference, like I feel like this is definitely the energy that's coming through where you really are a high priestess energy, or at least this is again the archetype that you're kind of embodying. I mean, we've done this with the Hanged Man as well, so I'll link that down below. But there's something around you kind of filtering through or shape-shifting through these different major arcanas where your life is about to literally unfold in very mysterious ways from 6 months onwards, right? This is like a huge ripple effect that's going to be taking place in your life. And she arrives in your life when you're tired of living life on the surface, right? When you're tired of playing it safe, or you kind of enter into this new realm, but not just by coincidence, by synchronicities that have led you here to this point. You don't just stumble into the temple. It's somewhere that you're guided, even if you don't understand how, even if you don't understand why, even if you don't understand, you understand. And it's when logic has kind of not failed you, but yeah, like logic is something that you see as being predictable, and there's an unpredictability, an anomaly that keeps revealing itself to you, and you're just following the thread. It's where you follow that curiosity of the soul's natural call for exploration. And this is when your questions become actually heavier than your answers. This is where you have more questions than answers, and the answers are not going to be found externally. So this is where you follow the echo of the longing of the soul, essentially, to be recognized. And that's where the high priestess, right? Even if we talk about the high priestess, she's usually depicted as someone that's kind of seated in between this white and this black pillar, which is almost like her being guided by the physical and the non-physical, her being guided by the light and the shadow, right? The physical and the non-physical. So let's talk about you as a character. High Priestess as a character, she is somebody who invites you to sit with the mystery. She's someone who invites you to just sit in the not knowing, and she says, let what is hidden reveal itself to you. So it will happen in time. It's the part of you that speaks in symbols or cycles or dreams, right? And you're able to kind of sit in your own discomfort of the not knowing and witness your own becoming. And that requires a different kind of level of detachment. It requires a different kind of level of surrender. So when you meet her from an outside perspective, she's someone that speaks directly to the soul. She speaks only really when necessary. A lot of the time she says less than necessary, and it's in the things that she doesn't say. She will say something and it will continue to linger and echo through somebody's mind, and they'll always view it from a different reference point depending where they are on their evolution journey. It's almost like there's many different ways to interpret the things that you say, and it will mean something different to the same person at different stages in their journey. There's something around like your point of reference, and she's definitely a character where she'll invite you to discover for the first time in this lifetime what has been long buried within you, waiting to be uncovered. And there is something about you uncovering your own hidden treasure. That's almost an energy that's coming through. Like you're uncovering your own hidden treasure. Yeah, it kind of does remind me of like a part of Fortune in the 12th house as well. It will just feel like you're remembering a dream that you lived lifetimes ago when you meet her. It will almost be like you're sitting with the parts of you that you can't really express or really articulate, but they can only really be felt, right? It's something to be experienced and not necessarily explained. And it's almost like when you do say things to the outside world, you can't really expect everybody to understand. This is the part inside of you that doesn't panic because you've already seen the beginning and the end. And it's the part of you that turns, lifetimes just like they were pages in a book, moving from chapter to chapter. it's the eternal essence and presence within you that's experienced itself through countless infinite life forms from this dimension to the next. And it's the part of you that says, you will hear and feel the timeline shift because a new time has begun within you, inside of yourself, right? Because you are a paradox. You are in this time, yet also timeless. So she doesn't necessarily say everything. And there's almost like an essence of you being a mystery right now. She doesn't say everything. And the way that she'll experience and interpret life. Let's see. I want to see how you guys are showing up right now, aside from High Priestess energy. Justice. So again, definitely discerning. This is Libran energy. There's something that you're weighing out, maybe when it comes to your logic and your intuition, because that's what the Justice card does. This is two kind of making a decision cards as well. So there's something that you're weighing out. Okay, there's something that you're weighing out. Ace of Swords. This is a Fibonacci sequence, so you're gaining clarity right now. You're weighing out potentially even what you want to take action towards. This is also cause and effect, so there's something that you're wanting to finalize. This is like, again, the smaller and finer details that you're understanding. It's like you're following the threads and things are really starting to make sense. It's something that you're going to be doing in silence, though. Seven of Swords doesn't really announce it. It's like they're looking into the future and they're taking action now that alters their future timelines. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. You're keeping this to yourself, okay? There's definitely a level of internal alignment. Ten of Pentacles, that will lead you towards the bigger vision. It's something to do with your legacy. You have Ten of Pentacles here as well. So it's something to do with your legacy. It's something to do with seeds that you are planting that you will sit under the shade of, maybe in this lifetime, maybe in the next. But there's definitely something that you're committing yourself to. Four of Wands there is also like a reunion. So it's almost like you're reunifying with what it is that you have come here to experience. You're reunifying with your sense of purpose, right? With the Ten of Coins, it's almost like you're remembering it. You're remembering something that you came here to do. It's almost a calling that is not a conference call, so you can't expect everyone to understand. It's for you to understand. When I talk about everyone, I'm even talking about the aspects of your own ego. It's something that you will understand. I'm hearing everyone will begin to understand in time, but you must follow this understanding and where it's leading you. That's what I'm seeing. So I'm going to love and leave you guys right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. I'd love to have you around. Personal reading details posted down below. And I'll speak to you very soon. Until next time. Bye.